director income into $1 million. And the more I was thinking on this, the more excited I got. And the more I was thinking on this, I started thinking about credit card debt. And this is why I even got more excited. I started thinking about credit card debt. And I started thinking about paying off credit card debt. And I started thinking about, I wonder what percentage of Americans have credit card debt that they can't pay, that they don't, that they're carrying each month. And so I just started doing some research and more research and more research. And that led to tonight's training. And yes, I'm going to show you how to turn director income. If you never build a business past director into $1 million cash, I'm gonna end with showing you that. But I'm gonna start with showing you some debt reduction strategies and how a Neolife business can tie into that. Maybe for you, if you're one of the 46% that carries credit card debt, and if not, or if regardless if it's for you or for not for you, for other people that you're going to help to get started in Neolife with a business, or who maybe already joined you, and you can help them catch a vision of what a Neolife business can do. Does that sound like a good plan? I hope so, because I'm excited about it. So here we go. Let's start with credit card debt, okay? So let's see if I can do this. Let me try something here. Give me a second. I'm wondering. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're going to start with credit card debt. So here we go. I've already said this first one. I'm going to share with you a couple statistics, but 46%, according to ChatGPT. We're going to assume that's correct, okay? I actually thought it would be a lot higher than that. So maybe ChatGPT is aiming low. I don't know. But 46% of everybody you and I know has credit card debt they cannot pay off each month. Okay? That's one fact. Two, do you want to know how much it is? $11,413 is the average, not per person, but per household. Okay? Per family. $11,413 per person. Do you know what the average minimum payment? I say average because, some people are paying 22%. Some people are paying 24% interest, and there's different interest rates. But based on the average right now, which is 23% interest on a credit card, the minimum payment on that size balance that the average American household has out there is $228. Now, if the average American family out there has $11,000 in debt that they can't pay off, what do you think the odds are they're only making the minimum payment with everything else coming at them they're barely keeping up with? Probably pretty high. So let's assume all they do is pay $228 a month on their $11,413 credit card debt, okay, or credit cards debt. How long do you think that's going to take? I want to see comments in the chat. How, without using a calculator, people, how long is that going to take, would you guess, for them to pay off? Just give me some guesses quickly as you can in the chat. How long is it going to take them to pay off $11,413? This is the average American family out there with credit card debt. They can't pay it every month. At $228 a month, which is all the bank is telling them they have to pay every month. How long is it going to take them to pay that off? What do you think? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, 11 years, 8 years, 10 years. Yeah, these are great guesses. Okay, drum roll. Ready? Based on 23% interest rate, because that is what the average is right now. 12, yeah, these are good guesses. Here you go. 14 years. Now, 14 years it's going to take at $228 a month for this family to pay off $11,413 in credit card debt if they never use it again. If they never, I'll say it again, if they never use it again. They cut it up, they burn it up, they never use it again. Or at least they never put more on it than they can pay off. But anyway, all they're paying is $228. So if they don't add anything to this, in 14 years, they'll pay it off. Okay? Some of you are like, yeah, probably that doesn't surprise you. Others of you are like, whoa, I haven't even thought about this before on this level. So do you know any guesses on how much they would pay in interest when they've paid at 14 years later, when they've got that $228 a month times however many months 14 years is to pay off $11,000? Here's what they would have paid in just interest alone. $27,072. And I'm going somewhere with all this, by the way, okay? Somewhere really exciting. This is going to be some really good news here in a minute. But $27,072 is what they would have paid just in interest, not the $11,000, just in interest. Plus, they would have paid another $11,413 to get that thing gone 14 years later. So, at the end of 14 years, how much will they have paid on their $11,000 loan? $38,000 plus, right? $38,485. They will have borrowed $11,000 from the credit card company and 14 years later given back $38,000. Everybody tracking with this so far? We good? Okay. That's the facts. And not everybody makes the minimum payment for 14 years. I understand that, but you know what? A lot do. So that's the facts. If they do, if you do, if someone does. Okay, now let's move on. Let's talk about Neolife. So now we move on to Neolife income. Watch this. And I'm just spitballing some averages here so we can do some math, okay? Let's say somebody starts a Neolife business and in month 1 makes manager. How hard is that? Order a core 3 and find 3 other members or whoever they are. Members, promoters, doesn't matter. But find 3 other members to order a core 3. And A, you're getting your core 3 free the next month, baby. And B, you probably made 150, you probably made more than that actually, but let's say you made 150 bucks. Okay? How about the next month? Go find 4 more core 3s somewhere. You're a manager, or excuse me, you're now a senior manager because you got 8 core 3s in your organization, or the equivalent, doesn't have to be core 3s. And you're making roughly, let's just say 300 bucks a month. You're probably making more, but let's just be conservative. 300 bucks a month. Okay. Or 300 bucks in your second month. Let's say you do that in your second month. Let's say in your third month, you double your business. Got some momentum. Maybe a few other people are signing up, a couple people, and now there's 16 core 3s or the equivalent in your organization. You're an executive manager. You're making roughly 600 a month, maybe more. And then let's say in your fourth month, you double that, got some momentum going, and you're at director. Average director earns $1,700 and some change, more than $1,700 a month, but we'll just round it down to an even number of $1,700 a month. And you may say, wow, that's fast to make director in 4 months. I mean, I guess it's all relative. We've had directors make director in their first month, more than 1, 2, or 3. We've had multiple people do it in their second, many more do it in their third, many more do it in their fourth, and many people that years later have never done it. So it is what it is. It's relative, of course, but is it possible to make director in 4 months? Yeah, it's possible. We did it much less than that. We didn't have any big social media following. We'd never done network marketing before. I'm just saying, is that possible? It is very possible, okay? But it doesn't really matter. So it took a year to make director, or 3 years to make director. It's almost irrelevant. I just am doing this for modeling, okay? So let's just say this is how it plays out. But it doesn't really matter. The bottom line is eventually you get to director. Let's just say. However long it takes you, almost is irrelevant. But let's say this is how it happens. In the first 3 months, all this money, which is $1,050, you do whatever you want with. Okay, you spend it, you buy product with it, I don't know, whatever you do. You go out to dinner with it. In month 4, your first month of director, let's say, you're making $1,700 a month. What if you took that $1,700, didn't change a darn thing about your lifestyle? And I want you to think about this for you, but I also want you to think about it for how you could use something along these lines to communicate with a potential prospect about joining your business, or even someone who already has joined your business as a promoter, and how you could sit down with them with a one-on-one and really game plan and strategize with them in a way that could be so real to them that they could have a why that could help them go out and take the action necessary to impact lives and crush this business. Okay. But anyway, let's just say we go, okay, we are going to keep our lifestyle exactly the way it is. And maybe we've got $11,000 on the credit card, and maybe we've got a $228 minimum credit card payment, but we're going to keep everything the way it is. And we're going to view our Neolife side income as a side income. And we're going to view it as extra income is what I mean, is extra income. And we're going to take that thing, and we're not going to take family vacations with that money. We're going to attack viciously our, what was it, $38,000? Was it $38,000 that credit card is going to cost us in 14 years? Was it 38? Something like that, right? We're going to viciously attack this $38,000. I'm not paying $38,000 for something that I borrowed that was $11,000 that I got in my hand. And we're going to viciously attack it with $1,700 a month, because that's what we're making now as director, again, on average. And we're going to put $1,700 a month towards that credit card. You know how fast that credit card would pay off if you did that, you or whoever did that? As instead of doing the $228 minimum, you do $1,700. I'll tell you how fast it'll pay off. It'll pay off in 8 months. 8 months, 14 years, or 8 months, your choice. $38,000, or you'll see, much less, okay? $27,000 in interest, or $900 in interest. Your choice, right? Well, if you're a director making that income and you don't just buy a bigger car, bigger house, or whatever, or nicer clothes or whatever, I'm just saying, if you took that money and said, okay, we're going to viciously attack this in 8 months, it would be gone. You'd only have paid $923 in interest over those 8 months, as opposed to $27,000 in interest over 14 years. You would have saved $26,000. This is what making director would have, if you were this person, okay? Making director and taking all of that money and for 8 months dumping it on your credit card, it would have saved you $26,000 in interest. It would have made you the $11,000 you paid back to the bank on the credit card, the principal you borrowed. It would have made you the $923 in interest you did have to pay over those 9 months. It would have made you the $1,050 you kept from making manager, senior manager, and executive manager those first 3 months. Remember that $1,050? Yeah, you got to pocket that and do whatever you wanted with that too. Okay? It would have made you, AKA, or saved you, $39,535 over the course of those 11 months. It's called a year. Over that year. You take that and divide it by 12 months, making director was worth to you $3,594 per month. Those first 12 months. If that's what you did with the money. Is everybody tracking with this so far? Good with that so far? It all makes sense? I know it's a bunch of numbers. Okay. This gets exciting to me when I know half of the people that I'm talking to and you're talking to, and maybe half the people on this call, I don't know, have credit card debt we can't pay each month. This is exciting. And we're stopping at director. We're just like saying, we're going to cap our income at $1,700. None of us are going to do that in real life, but we're just in my hypothetical scenario. I'm saying you just cap it at $1,700. You just don't go above director. And what would that do for you? Now watch this. In 12 months, you're debt-free, at least credit card debt-free, okay? You may have a car loan, a house loan, whatever. So now let's make a little comparison. One way, you pay $38,485, making the minimum payment on your $11,000 credit card. The other way, you earn $39,000, over $39,000 in those 12 months. Now, I told you, the promo was turn director income into $1 million cash. What if you don't have credit card debt today? Or what if in a year from now, you've annihilated your credit card debt? Or 2 years from now, or 3 years, you go, oh, I've got 30,000 on my credit card. Okay. So it takes you 2 years from now, or whatever, or 3 years, whatever. It's going to be a whole lot less than 25 years at the minimum payment. So at whatever way it takes to blast out a debt, you blast out a debt and you're back to square one, and all you are at is at director. We're not even going to play out the numbers if you go bigger than director. We'll just say we're going to stay at director income, $1,700 a month. And you take that $1,700 a month now that the credit card's paid off, because you're not going to raise your lifestyle because you're thinking long term with your money, and you were dumping $1,700 a month on your credit card, and so now you're like, well, I don't have a credit card anymore to pay, so let's invest it. So there's these calculators you can use. They're just compound interest calculators. I'm going to show you on the next slide. If you don't know, like if you want one to play around with one, I can show you a couple of them, but like what I used. But in this case, what I did was, you'll notice here, I took, you got to start with an initial deposit. So I just put $1. Like, let's just say that, we're starting with nothing, right? Essentially. And then we're going to contribute how much a month? $1,700 director income. We're going to take it all. We're going to invest it. Okay. What are we going to invest it in? I just calculated we're going to make 10% on our money. And the reason why I chose 10% is because you may do more or less than that, but the reason why I chose 10% is because that is the average. If you put it in a 401k or an IRA, or in some way it's attached to the stock market. I'm no expert at any of this stuff, by the way, but I can Google and I can find out that the average rate of return on the stock market over the last about 100 years that it's been around is 10%. Okay, that's the average. So let's just use the average, 10%. I plugged 10% in there, and I put for the growth, I put 10 years. Oh, that wasn't $1 million. So then I put 12. That wasn't $1 million. So then I just kept going. I had to get up to 18 years before it turned into $1 million. Right? Are you with me? So you can play with these calculators and you can see, okay, if I invest $1,700 a month and I get 10%, it grows by 10%, right? How many in so many years it will be so much dollars. It'll do all the math for you. So in this scenario, if we take the 1,700, and I'm looking at you, Braden, my son on the screen, who's 21, and let's say he gets started here, doing this year, and he's 22 or something, and in 18 years he's going to be 40. Aside from anything else he may save, aside from anything else he may earn, aside from anything else, if he never built past director size business, and all he did was take the director size business and put it into a IRA or something, and it earned an average of 10% over those 18 years, he would have over $1 million cash at age 40, just from a director income. And you say, well, I'm 53. Okay, you'll be 71 when it happens. I'm 53 too. So, I mean, what else are you going to be when you're 71? If you don't do it, you know what I mean? Like, forget the age thing. Like, you just start. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. But the next best time to plant a fruit tree is today, right? So, that's a calculator. That's just a compound interest calculator, but you can see what can happen, and you can play with these numbers. Well, what if I never make it past executive manager and I'm earning $500 a month? Okay, go plug $500 a month in this thing for 20 years and see where you're at. It's kind of fun. So there's a couple. There's a credit. I mean, you can just Google it. You can Google these, but these are a couple I've used. You can credit card payoff calculator. I mean, if you were Googling it, that would be something you might want to search, but there's one from bankrate.com. And then the second one that I did was the compound interest calculator, which just works in reverse, right? If money's working for you versus interest working against you. There's that one at nerdwallet.com, which is the one I used for that last one. By the way, I just want to show you this. I said, well, what if $1,700 a month is too much? What if you're like, no, we've got some things we've got to pay for, and we made it to director, and we spent 8 months just crushing our $11,000 worth of credit card debt to zero. But we got these other things we've got to do with that $1,700 a month. We can't dump it all in the stock market for 18 years, but okay, but we'll do what was the minimum payment. We were doing the minimum monthly payment of $228 a month. So we can do that. We'll do the $228 monthly minimum payment, and we'll do that. And we'll figure 10%, and we'll do that for 14 years. The same 14 years we would have been paying that to the credit card company. We would have paid $38,000, right? $27,000 in interest over those 14 years if we just kept making the monthly payment. But instead we took that 228 and we decided we're going to invest that sucker instead of giving it to the bank for 14 years and giving them another 30 grand of interest. We're going to invest it. You'd have $82,000 after 14 years. $82,000. $27,000 in interest to the credit card company at $228 a month for 10 years or 14 years, sorry. Or the same 14-year period, $228 into whatever investment at 10% average yields you $82,000. The reason why, that's all I have to share. The reason why, let me get out of this. The reason why, can't do two things at once. The reason why, and then I just got to stop, do it. Okay, now I can finish talking. The reason why I think this is so powerful is just based on statistics. I know I'm talking to some people, at least some people, maybe not 46%, that have credit card debt you can't pay every month. And I hope this inspires you to, if you're like, I can't take any of my Neolife income right now, good, then grow your Neolife business. Not good, no problem is what I meant to say. Then grow your Neolife business. Just grow it to the next rank and commit to taking whatever that extra income is and doing this with it. So for you and for everyone else and for you, it's for all of us. And for all of us, can you see how this would be something if you can have enough relationship with someone where you could literally sit down with the promoter and go, let's talk about your plan. I'm coming alongside you. I'm coming here to help you. I can't make it to Impact Weekend. Why can't you make it to Impact Weekend? Let's get into this. I mean, if you could have that kind of relationship with somebody, okay? I know you can't do that. We can't do that with everybody. We start looking at, okay, is there credit card debt? Is there this? Is that? Yeah, there's credit card debt. How much is the credit card debt? Let's talk about how would you like to get rid of that? I'd love to get rid of it. I hope you get rid of it. Tell me how much right now. Pull out one of these calculators. Literally, pull up one of these calculators on your phone. One of these debt calculators, right? Okay, what's the balance? 7,000? 17,000? 27,000? Let's type it in. Interest rate. Okay. Senior manager. That's $300 a month, whatever number that is. 250, 300, I don't know. Okay, let's plug that in. If we can get you there, can you envision getting 16 people on a core 3? 8 actually. Yeah, 8, sorry. 8 people on a core 3, senior manager. Okay, that's this income. Now let's plug this in here. What if you took the $300 a month and every month didn't touch it, just dumped it on here? Well, first of all, how long is it going to take you to pay off your credit card at the plan? 14 years or whatever it is. Okay, what if we build your business to this? I'm going to help you. What if we take that $300? Let's plug it in. How quick can we demolish that $11,000 credit card debt? Wow, 8 months. How would you like 8 months it to be gone? That monkey off your back. Would you sleep better at night? Would your marriage be better? Would your health be better? Would your stress be better? Yeah, let's do this. You want to do this? I'm just saying, can you see how those kind of conversations could be powerfully helpful? You could come along and be someone's hero that just doesn't know, that just didn't think about it, that never took the time to go, wow, $300 a month could do that for me? I'm in. What do we got to do? Julie, tell me, what do we got to do? Let's go. I'm with you. Or whoever, right? Whoever my sponsor is. So I hope you look at it for those that want to, need to for yourself, but even bigger picture, man, let's help some other